suffer, but from the belief there is another will apart from his. And I can suffer from, but the belief there is another will apart from his. And I can suffer, but from the belief there is another will apart from his. God's will for me is perfect happiness. And I can suffer, but from the belief there is another will apart from his. God's will is perfect happiness for me. And God's will for me is perfect happiness. And I share God's will for happiness for me. I share God's will for happiness for me. I share my Father's will for me, his Son. I share my Father's will for me, his Son. What he has given me is all I want. What he has given me is all there is. What he has given me is all I want. What he has given me is all there is. I share God's will for happiness for me. God's will for me is perfect happiness. I share God's will for happiness for me. God's will for me is perfect happiness. I share God's will for happiness for me. Well, thank you all so much for joining me here today and studying A Course in Miracles. That's lesson 116, which is our third review of lesson 101 and 102. 101 being God's will for me is perfect happiness. And catch this idea that he really emphasizes in the write-up. I can suffer, but from the belief there is another will apart from his. Once you realize that everything is in harmony with God, well, then you won't suffer anymore. There won't be any pain. You'll realize that everything is happening perfectly. I share God's will for happiness for me. What he has given me is all I want. What he has given me is all there is. Everything is for his dearly beloved Son. It's for me, for you. God's will for me is perfect happiness. God's will is perfect happiness for me. And I can suffer, but from the belief there is another will apart from his. I share God's will for happiness for me. I share my Father's will for me, his Son. What he has given me is all I want. What he has given me is all there is. So review that, what we just sang and read about in the morning and in the evening for at least 5 minutes. And then take, at the top of the hour throughout the day, say, God's will for me is perfect happiness. And let that settle into your being. Take a moment of quiet with your eyes closed if you can. And then at the bottom of the hour, tell yourself, I share God's will for happiness for me. And then try to do the same. Try to have just a moment of introspection and listening prayer. And then go about your Father's business through the day as you share the happiness that he wills for you. Isn't that a beautiful message? God's will for me is perfect happiness, and I share God's will for happiness for me. Well, let's go look in our text reading from Perception to Knowledge, which is section 8 in chapter 13, The Guiltless World. And let's see what briefly what's going on around the world today. It's Anzac Day, according to holidays and observances, which is Australia and New Zealand Army Corps. Started in World War I in 1915. And then celebrate Teen Literature Day, DNA Day. First published structure of the DNA was on this day in 1953. Watson and several others published on this day. East meets West Day, towards the end of World War II, at the River Elbe in Germany, when the East forces met the West forces. I think of East meets West as the Eastern thought of the Himalayan yogis met the West in Paramahansa Yogananda when he brought the message. Even Jesus's message all the way through it is really the message of the yogis, that all is God, all is one. East meets West. That's what Course in Miracles is all about. Is in the way I like to see it. Is it's so in harmony with the higher metaphysical concepts of this world, that the only problem we all have is ignorance. So you read your course, read it over and over, or whatever path you're on. You're on the course right now because you're listening to me. But whatever path you're doing, just give it your attention and understand that we want to free ourselves from ignorance. Hairstylist Appreciation Day, International Financial Independence Awareness Day, International Girls in Information and Telecommunication Technologies Day, License Plate Day, Love Your Thighs Day, Malaria Awareness Day, National Crayola Day, National Mani-Pedi Day, National Plumbers Day. And I liked something I heard, who was that? Jordan Peterson had said that he thinks that plumbers relieved, they caused more health benefits and less, the Black Plague was a terrible situation. But when plumbers started plumbing, all of a sudden, and getting a place for like your toilets, Thomas Crapper toilet, he made the first toilet, if I understand it. That actually had more to do with the health of society than anything else. So anyway, National Plumbers Day. National Teach Your Children to Save Day. Might be a good thing in this world, but also remember, when you teach your children to save, you're also teaching them an idea that's contrary to higher metaphysics, as expressed in A Course in Miracles, which is to stay in the present moment. Follow divine guidance. Don't worry about the future. National Telephone Day, National Zucchini Bread Day. Of course, your zucchini will, I told you the other day that you can put out anything. We almost had a frost. It got down pretty cold last night. It didn't freeze, but I covered a couple of my plants up. I would have lost a bunch of peppers and tomatoes if I'd been in a low-lying area. So, even though I thought that we were beyond frost, you still can have a few cold snaps. So you might want to wait a little longer. But, coming up soon, you can put things out without worrying. And I wouldn't recommend you worrying no matter what you do. But I hope you know what I'm talking about. Red Hat Society, take your sons and daughters to work day. That'd be a nice thing. I had my kids involved in my business often. Technologies Day. Thank You Thursday. Thank you all for joining me. I'm sitting here in front of a Rubus Allegheny. It's from the Allegheny Mountains, but anyway, Blackberry, common Blackberry, Rubus Allegheny. I've got it written down, the proper pronunciation, I think, on the back side. What did I say? Rubus Allegheniensis. There you go, Allegheniensis. Common Ozark Blackberry, but they're in bloom now. I noticed the bees are working them, and they smell wonderful. They'll bloom for several days, maybe several weeks actually. Okay. So anyway, thank you for joining me out here with some wild blackberries. World Malaria Day and World Penguin Day. I just think penguins are so cute. Reminds me of that movie, Happy Feet. Anyway, they're like people. They live in societies too, and they team up, male and female, and raise their young together. They're quite the birds. From perception to knowledge. Before we read, what else do we have going on around the world? That's everything going on around the world that I found. In Permaculture for Beginners by Carrie Mitchell is still in chapter 6. Let's review. Using mulch, you mow, water, lime if needed, cover, sheet cover like cardboard, mark your paths, and then put organic matter down, just food scraps like we talked about, and then 6 inches of organic matter, or 15 centimeters, in the form of hay. And I'd encourage you to use spoiled hay. And as it'll pack down, and after put 6 inches on, but it'll pack down to well, eventually it'll pack down to dirt. But that's the whole idea, is you're trying to give a lot of fuel for the microbiome to do its thing and to replenish and build the soil. Let's see, and I would encourage you to use spoiled hay. Find some farmer that has hay that he didn't get fed to his cattle for a couple years, and that makes then you're doing something really good, putting that down as instead of fresh hay that you're paying for, and you want it to rot anyway, so it's already well on its way a lot of times. Okay, now let's take from perception to knowledge. All healing is released from the past. That is why the Holy Spirit is the only healer. He teaches that the past does not exist, a fact which belongs to the sphere of knowledge, and which therefore no one in the world can know. It would indeed be impossible to be in the world with this knowledge, for the mind that knows this unequivocally knows also it dwells in eternity and utilizes no perception at all. It therefore does not consider where it is, because the concept of where does not mean anything to it. It knows that it is everywhere, just as it has everything and forever. Boy, that sure does speak of our lesson today, doesn't it? When God's will for me is perfect happiness, and I share God's will for me, or I share God's will for happiness for me. What He has given me is all I want. What He has given me is all there is. We're created as this one being. And the word unequivocal in there, in a way that leaves no doubt, unequivocal. So let's read the paragraph again. It's a key idea to understand in this. All healing is released from the past. All healing is released from the past. That is why the Holy Spirit is the only healer. He teaches that the past does not exist, a fact which belongs to the sphere of knowledge, and which therefore no one in the world can know. It would indeed be impossible to be in the world with this knowledge, for the mind that knows this unequivocally knows also it dwells in eternity, and utilizes no perception at all. It therefore does not consider where it is, because the concept where does not mean anything to it. It knows that it is everywhere, just as it has everything and forever. And he's been trying to help us to see we want to look at our brothers without their past, keep in the present moment. Paragraph 2. The very real difference between perception and knowledge becomes quite apparent if you consider this. There is nothing partial about knowledge. Again on that. The very real difference between perception and knowledge becomes quite apparent if you consider this. There is nothing partial about knowledge. Every aspect is whole, and therefore no aspect is separate. You are an aspect of knowledge being in the mind of God who knows you. All knowledge must be yours, for in you is all knowledge. Perception at its loftiest is never complete. Even the perception of the Holy Spirit, as perfect as perception can be, is without meaning in heaven. Perception can reach everywhere under His guidance, For the vision of Christ beholds everything in light, yet no perception, however holy, will last forever. Paragraph 3. Perfect perception, then, has many elements in common with knowledge, making transfer to it possible. Yet the last step must be taken by God, because the last step is your redemption, which seems to be in the future, was accomplished by God in your creation. The separation has not interrupted it. Creation cannot be interrupted. The separation is merely a faulty formulation of reality with no effect at all. The miracle without a function in heaven is needful here. Aspects of reality can still be seen, and they will replace aspects of unreality. Aspects of reality can be seen in everything and everywhere, yet only God can gather them together by crowning them as one with the final gift of eternity. And you may find a lot of the things that we read kind of difficult to understand, and my encouragement to you is just to keep reading it. You will understand it as you arrive at the next level in your awakening, so that you can understand. You won't be able to understand it in the beginning, but just know that there's a message in every sentence for you. And just keep joyfully reading it. Let it be a happy process. Don't be discouraged because you're not understanding it. Just say, well, I guess I don't understand everything yet. Understand what you can. Get the encouragement you can. The sentences you don't understand, make sure you understand the words. Look up the words if you don't know them. And at least, when I say understanding, that's at another level, higher than just the sentence itself, perhaps. Paragraph 4. Apart from the Father and the Son, the Holy Spirit has no function. He's not separate from either, being in the mind of both, and knowing that mind is one. He is a thought of God, and God has given him to you because he has no thoughts he does not share. His message speaks of timelessness in time, and that is why Christ's vision looks on everything with love. Okay, so God's message, or the Holy Spirit's message, speaks of timelessness in time, and that is why Christ's vision looks on everything with love. Yet even Christ's vision is not his reality. The golden aspect of reality that springs to light under his loving gaze are partial glimpses of the heaven that lies beyond them. 5. This is the miracle of creation that is one forever. Every miracle you offer to the Son of God is but the true perception of one aspect of the whole. Though every aspect is the whole, you cannot know this until you see that every aspect is the same, perceived in the same light, and therefore one. Everyone seen without the past thus brings you nearer to the end of time by bringing healed and healing sight into the darkness and enabling the world to see. So we want to learn to see our brothers without the past. Let the past go. And when you make a mistake and you kind of focused on the past because you thought someone had done you an in-service, well, then recognize that and let it go after you recognize it. Everyone seen without the past thus brings you nearer to the end of time by bringing healed and healing sight into the darkness and enabling the world to see. For light must come into the darkened world to make Christ's vision possible even here. For light must come into the darkened world to make Christ's vision possible even here. Help him to give his gift of light to all who think they wander in the darkness, and let him gather them into his quiet sight that makes them one. 6. They are all the same, all beautiful and equal in their holiness. And he will offer them unto his Father as they were offered unto him. There is one miracle as there is one reality, and every miracle you do contains them all, as every aspect of reality you see blends quietly into the one reality of God. The only miracle that ever was is God's most holy Son, created in the one reality that is His Father. Christ's vision is His gift to you. His being is His Father's gift to Him. 7. Be you content with healing, for Christ's gift you can bestow, and your Father's gift you cannot lose. Offer Christ's gift to everyone and everywhere, for miracles offered the Son of God through the Holy Spirit attune you to reality. The Holy Spirit knows your part in the redemption and who are seeking you and where to find them. Again on that sentence, the Holy Spirit knows your part in the redemption and who are seeking you and where to find them. Knowledge is far beyond your individual concern. You who are part of it and all of it need only realize that it is of the Father, not of you. Your role in the redemption leads you to it by reestablishing its oneness in your mind. 8. When you have seen your brothers as yourself, you will be released to knowledge. When you have seen your brothers as yourself, you will be released to knowledge, having learned to free yourself through Him who knows of freedom. Unite with me under the holy banner of His teaching, and as we grow in strength, the power of God's Son will move in us, and we will leave no one untouched and no one left alone. And suddenly time will be over, and we will all unite in the eternity of God the Father. The holy light you saw outside yourself in every miracle you offered to your brothers will be returned to you. And knowing that the light is in you, your creations will be there with you as you are in your Father. 9. As miracles in this world join you to your brothers, so do your creations establish your fatherhood in heaven. As miracles in this world join you to your brothers, so do your creations establish your fatherhood in heaven. You are the witness of the fatherhood of God, and He has given you the power to create the witnesses to yours, which is as His. Deny a brother here, and you deny the witnesses to your fatherhood in heaven. The miracle that God created is perfect, as are the miracles that you established in His name. You need no healing, nor do you. They need no healing, nor do you, when you accept them. And the last paragraph, 10. Let's go back and read those last couple sentences in 9 once before we read 10. Deny a brother here, and you deny the witnesses to your fatherhood in heaven. The miracle that God created is perfect, as are the miracles that you established in His name. They need no healing, nor do you, when you accept them. And then the last paragraph, 10. Yet in this world your perfection is unwitnessed. God knows it, but you do not, and so you do not share His witness to it. Nor do you witness unto Him, for reality is witnessed to as one. God waits your witness to His Son and to Himself. The miracles you do on earth are lifted up to heaven and to Him. They witness to what you do not know, and as they reach the gates of heaven, God will open them. For never would He leave His own beloved Son outside them and beyond Himself. He'll open the gates of heaven. For never would He leave His own beloved Son outside them and beyond Himself. Wow, what a beautiful message. Okay, well, we know what to do. We've already talked about it. Let me just encourage you to do the best you can, to pause at the top and the bottom of every hour today and say, God's will for me is perfect happiness at the top of the hour. And I share God's will for happiness for me at the bottom of the hour. God's will for me is perfect happiness. God's will for me is perfect happiness. And at the bottom of the hour, God's will for me is perfect happiness. At the bottom of the hour, say, I share God's will for happiness for me. And do it, share it. I share God's will for happiness for me. Look in the mirror if you have to. God's will for me is perfect happiness. And I share God's will for happiness for me. God's will for me is perfect happiness. God's will is perfect happiness for me. And I can suffer but from the belief that there is another will apart from His. And I can suffer but from the belief there's another will apart from His. And I can suffer but from the belief there is another will apart from His. I share God's will for happiness for me. I share God's will for happiness for me. What He has given me is all I want. What He has given me is all there is. I share God's will for happiness for me. I share God's will for happiness for me. God's will for me is perfect happiness. I share God's will for happiness for me. God's will for me is perfect happiness. I share God's will for happiness for me. Well, let's look in the mirror if you need to. I tried to say in the middle of that song. Look in the mirror, are you happy? And if you're not, say, okay, I need to work on myself. Sometimes I put a big mirror in my living room, 8 foot long and 6 foot tall, so that when I walked by it years ago, I could say, is the Son of God happy? Probably inspired by this lesson. God's will for me is perfect happiness. I share God's will for happiness for me. And since we have this, what's it called? Anzac Day, Australia, New Zealand Day. The Maori people of New Zealand, their word for peace is Whakaaio. So Whakaaio to you. Peace be with you, Whakaaio. God's will for me is perfect happiness. I share God's will for happiness for me. Whakaaio.